This summer, I pushed myself farther than ever. I joined a competitive men's team in my city, and I quit. In this video, I'm going to share the story of the summer with you guys so far, and at the end, I'm going to break down all of my competitive game footage so far. Okay guys, so story time. Now back in April or May of this year, I began considering playing at maybe a higher level. I wanted to push myself, and up until this point in my soccer journey, I had mostly just been playing in rec leagues, casual leagues, that were at a pretty good level, but nothing official, really competitive. And I thought like maybe it would be fun and interesting to try something more structured, more competitive basically, and at a higher level. So I did a little bit of research about what competitive leagues were available to me in my city. So after doing a little bit of research about one particular league in my city, the Ottawa Carleton Soccer League, or the OCSL, I decided that I would give it a try. Now I wasn't quite sure based on my level of skill where exactly I fit in. So I put an ad on their website saying that I was looking for a team, and I basically shared my story, and I got a number of callbacks. Actually, it's pretty sweet because a number of these teams, they do like preseason warm-up games before the OCSL season officially starts. So I actually got to go out and do like some preseason games with different teams. I tried an over 35 men's team that played in the highest division for that group. I tried out for a more competitive but still recreational men's team in the MR4 level of the OCSL, and I tried out for one more. I thought initially that it was an MC2 team, which is 2 divisions from the top in that league on the competitive side, but it ended up being actually an MC2 team that I was trying out for. So that was a bit of a surprise. If I had known that beforehand, I probably wouldn't have showed up, because I could almost guess that, before even going to any of these tryouts, that MC2 or MC1 would have been probably above my skill level. I had no idea where I fit in, so I thought I'd go try out anyway. So I tried out for this MC3/MC2 team, because that's what it ended up being. And I went with basically 0 expectations. I was super excited that I had this opportunity, and I was dreaming of what it could be like. And I had no idea of what the league actually looked like or what the team would actually look like, but I just imagined that it would somehow be like more professional, which maybe in hindsight was a little naive. But hey, I had no idea. But I was really nervous too. And yeah, my expectations were very low. And so going into the tryout, I thought that the assessment would be, you know what? Thanks for coming. We like your enthusiasm, but you're not quite ready to play at this level. And I was hoping for, at the worst case scenario, like some feedback, such as, if you work on this skill, this skill, this skill, and come again next year, like, yeah, you'll be in a lot better position to join this team. So that's kind of what I expected to happen. Much to my surprise, because I had shared like my kind of background with the coach and everything and my expectations, I went to this tryout and he was like, yeah, I'll give you an invitation to join our team. So he didn't give me like detailed, specific breakdown about like my skills or anything like that, but he was just like, yeah, you can join the team. And I was like, dang, like I was really excited, not at all what I was expecting. And so I went home and I thought about it, and I had a bit of a back and forth with him about expectations and kind of like what the scheduling looked like. And so I talked it over with my wife, and I cleared my schedule because this team throughout the summer would play 1 match a week. And then there was also a team training session that I was expected to attend. And I just wanted to make sure like everybody in my family was on board with it, because it's a pretty big commitment for just like a casual thing, especially if you're an adult, when you have like kids and a young family. So, you have to consider other people's needs in your life. But yeah, I was super excited to have the invitation to join this team, And I was like, okay, this is basically 3 levels from the highest level of competitive soccer that I could play in my city as an adult. And I had decided going into this that since I was going to be really testing myself and pushing myself, that I was, in addition to the team training and the games, plus the other Saturday recreational league that I was committed to already, that I was gonna train like twice a week at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., to just work on my own stuff too. So I was going in, I was like all in, dedicated. Let's see how much I can improve by doing this. That was kind of my goal. So it didn't take long for the reality of things to set in. And well, I guess like the spoiler, if you will, the end of the story is that the summer was really a mixed bag. And as you know, because I already shared this, I ended up quitting the team, and there were 4 games left when I made that decision. So yeah, now I want to break down some of the reasons why I decided to end up quitting, and why I was disappointed, and what I didn't like so much about this experience. So one thing that I was really looking forward to joining this competitive men's team was the dedicated team training side of things. That's something that I had never done before. And like, I have some good friends in my close like circle of soccer friends who are like-minded, and we do train by ourselves like once a week in the summer, or we try to hit once a week. Maybe it's once every 2 weeks, you know, people have vacations and whatever, but it's not very structured. We do drills as much as we can do with 2 or 3 people. It depends on how many show up. And that's always been a lot of fun. But I was really looking forward to kind of taking that to the next level and having a coach and having specific kind of like things that the team was working on, or yeah, trying to improve based on what is happening in games. And that basically just didn't exist with this team. So what ended up happening, that was my expectation. The reality was that only 5 or 6 guys consistently showed up to the training sessions, the team training sessions. And I know it was a frustration for the coach, but it just, I don't know, like, I don't know why guys didn't come to the training sessions. Like, I just thought that that was the expectation of players on the team, and that everyone would come, and that if you weren't coming to training, you wouldn't play. But that's really not at all what happened. And so it puts the coach in a difficult position, right? Because he wants to, and he even said to the team on different occasions, like, if you don't train, you don't play. But he never really enforced that and set the precedent for that. But he couldn't really, because he would have only been fielding like 6 or 7 guys, plus, I don't know, whoever else he wanted to pick to fill it in. The club that I was registered with, like, they had 2 teams. So they had a U21 team in the OCSL, and they had the MC2 team. And so they would mix the groups together for training. So sometimes we did have like 8 or 9, but it was a mix of the under 21s and the adult group. And those were okay, but it's like, really, to get the most out of these team training sessions, you need to be training with the guys you're playing with. It just helps so much, right? It's like kind of common sense. So that really, really sucked. Another thing that was disappointing about the team training is like, I cleared my schedule because I was told team training is going to be on this night. And like, you know, all the people joining the team are adults and have busy lives. And I just assumed like everyone's going to show up on this night at this time. Great, lock it in. And I think after 2 or 3 sessions, the coach changed it. And he was like, you know what? This night doesn't work. I'm going to change it to another night. And that really sucked too. So it got moved to Saturday nights. For me personally, that sucked for 2 main reasons. The first was like, there's a lot going on in the summer, and the weekends I typically reserve for family time. So it's like, okay, now I'm taking a chunk out of that, and I've already asked so much of my family to be okay with me doing this. And the other reason it really sucked is because I was still playing in a recreational men's league on Saturday mornings, man, it was brutal to like play Saturday mornings and then kind of have a little bit of rest in the afternoon and then go and do like another hour and a half training session in the evenings when your legs are already like shot from a day of playing. So I don't really know why the coach changed the night suddenly, but I felt like that was a little unfair. So another thing that was a bit of a disappointment for me in this experience is when I joined the team, when I had that initial communication with the coach, like we had a number of back and forths. I had explained my skill level, my story, my motivation for joining, like that I was trying to really push myself. And I didn't expect to be a starter or anything like that. But I asked him once he said like, okay, yeah, join the team. I said, all right, like I want tons of personal feedback. If you tell me to work on A, B, C, D, I will also put in the work on my own time a few times a week and come up with drills to do that thing because I want to get better. And he was very positive about that. And he said, yes, I'm going to give you personal feedback. He was trying to do his coaching A license. And I think that's a component of getting your soccer coaching A license is like individual performance plans. Anyway, that sounded great to me. And I didn't get a single piece of individual feedback from the coach all summer. So yeah, I don't really know what it was. Like he was a nice guy and we had a good relationship. I don't even really have anything against him, but I just thought, why would you say that? Why would you tell me you're gonna give me individual feedback when you never gave me any? So again, maybe this is one of those expectations versus reality. The reality is even though it's competitive and at a higher level, it's still a pay-to-play recreational sport that people are choosing to do with their free time. So I don't know, maybe that's not so common. I think finally the thing that like really was the nail in the coffin for me deciding to quit this season was I started getting less and less game time as the season went on. So as you may or may not know, I track all my stats and I film the matches so I can watch my performance back after and kind of get my own sense of how I think I performed and look at mistakes and what I could have done better and all of that stuff. But in doing so, I was also able to track my minutes. So let me just give you some quick, simple stats here. I played 6 games with this team in the league plus 1 preseason match. I didn't film the preseason match, so like I filmed part of it actually, but I don't really have stats on it. I didn't really take that one too seriously. And of those 6 games that I played when the league officially started, here were my minutes. I've written them down. 48 minutes in the first match, so that was awesome. And there's a story to go with that, which I will share soon, because that was one of the highlights of this experience actually. Second match, I got 28 minutes. Third match, 24. My fourth match, I got 13 and a half minutes. My fifth match, I actually got 90 minutes, but there's a story to go with that too. And that really sucked. So it wasn't a good 90 minutes. And then the last match that I played, I got 10 and a half minutes. So the general trend, as you can see, was that I was getting fewer and fewer minutes every game. And the only reason I got 90 minutes in one match is because we had 0 substitutes. Nobody showed up. In this league, by the way, substitutes are at will and unlimited. So you can come on and off as much as you want. You just have to wait for like certain stoppages of play and let the referee know. But yeah, we had 0 substitutes. We had 11 players exactly, and we all played 90 minutes. And that game sucked because I started the game injured. So I showed up and I had a quad thing, or was it a hamstring? Anyway, one of my legs was like just really bothering me. The complicating factor is that in my Saturday rec men's league, we also had low attendance for like the first 2 months of the summer. So I was playing 90 minutes every week in those games. And then I was going to training on Saturday nights for this team. And I just overdid it. That destroyed my legs one week. And then, yeah, I showed up for this match and we had 0 substitutes for the competitive game. So we all played 90 minutes. It was pouring rain and I couldn't make a pass to save my life. So I didn't film that game, but that was a side tangent. All of that to say that apart from that game, my minutes just kept going down and down and down. And I don't really know why, because if anything, I felt like as the season went on, my confidence was improving. When I started, like the first couple games, I was crazy nervous. And I think I was overthinking everything, and it was actually making me play like a little bit worse than I know I can, because I just made such a big deal of this opportunity in my head. But as I started playing, I think my confidence started growing game to game, and I stopped caring at a certain point about what people thought of me, or like if I made a mistake in front of other people. You know, at the beginning I was like mortified. And then once I saw other people making mistakes, I was like, oh, I'm not actually that much worse than the players on the field. Like, they're definitely better than me, but I'm not that far behind them. So yeah, my confidence, I felt like, started growing and growing. And I feel like for the minutes that I did have, I had less and less mistakes and like better decision making, but I was getting fewer and fewer minutes. So it just didn't add up to me. And that kind of comes back to that point about having no personal feedback from the coach. It's like, okay, if I'm getting less and less minutes every game, maybe you can explain to me why, or you can say, hey, you're getting less minutes. Here are the reasons. If you want to see more minutes, I would like to see more of this from you. And yeah, that just didn't exist. So I felt frustrated. I felt isolated. I felt like I was on the outside of the team, and I just started thinking, like, what am I doing with my time? Like, I don't want to drive to these games if I'm only gonna show up for 10 minutes. And yeah, that really sucked. I guess like one more factor that you know caused me to quit, which I just kind of touched on a little bit, was the team culture. Like, there were a lot of nice guys on the team, and I think there were 22 on paper, so probably 17 or 18 were actually showing up once the season started. Of that group, I think maybe like 5 of them I felt like were rooting for me in a way. Like, I felt like we're celebrating my wins and successes, and then the rest of them like just didn't care. It's not like I needed everyone to be like in my corner or whatever, but again, maybe the theme of this video is expectations versus reality. So my ideal team culture is like a group of like-minded people who are highly competitive and want to win and want to improve. So there's like a drive to continuously self-improve, but also celebrate and like want their teammates to succeed as well, right? Like, it's one thing to focus on your own individual performance and improvement, but what makes for a great team is when you are like wanting that for your teammates as well, and you're pushing them to succeed. And so it's not to say that you don't call out mistakes or provide feedback or like suggestions for improvements or whatever, but you need to have a relationship with somebody to be able to do that. And like, there's a way to do it respectfully, right? Like, you can suggest to someone, you see them making a repeated obvious mistake. Like, there's a way that you can call someone else to like a higher standard while being respectful about it. Like, and anyway, there was a lot of bickering and like accusations and people yelling at each other and like talking about each other if we were watching from the sidelines, like guys coaching from the sidelines and like calling out so-and-so while they were playing. And I don't know, at the end of the day, I just felt like apart from like a handful of guys, like nobody cared that I was there. And that sucked. And I felt like, and they kind of knew my story because I had shared it with them, and like, I don't know, nobody cared. So I was like, why am I going to these games? And eventually I just decided to quit. So that was the story of the competitive men's team this summer so far, my experience. Those were kind of the negatives. Overall, I'm actually glad that I did try this. Like, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about, well, what an MC2 level looks like. I learned about myself. I did pick up a lot of tips and tricks actually here and there. So I did get some pieces of information that I think will help me become a better soccer player. And while I didn't get as many minutes as I would like in that competitive environment, I do think I was forced to get better. And I do think overall, this experience did cause me to get better as a soccer player. I don't think I'm necessarily done with competitive teams, but I think next year, I'm gonna be a little bit more careful about selecting a team. Like, it's not like you can just choose whatever, right? Like, there has to be an opening, but I think I'll be a little more cautious and do some more digging if there is an opportunity to join a competitive team. I wanna ask, like, do you actually train? What's the culture like? You know, what are your expectations? I just wanna have like fewer mismatches again between my expectations and my picture of what it's gonna be versus the reality of what it actually is. I think on the flip side, actually, I have been so much better in my rec men's league this year than last year. So I think that is a direct byproduct of trying to play at a more competitive level. A lot of that I think has actually carried over into the more recreational level that I really enjoy playing at. It's a good league, like it's a good group of guys, and I've been killing it this year. We've played 10 games. I've been playing striker mostly, and I'm 7 goals in 10 games, plus 2 assists. So I think I'm really satisfied with how I'm doing in that league so far. But yeah, now I want to actually transition and break down the footage from my competitive men's matches this summer, so you can actually see what it looked like, what my play looked like, and we can go through it together and look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. And yeah, there was a lot of ugly, but I think there were some good moments too. So I'm excited to share those with you guys. All right, guys, so let's look at the match footage from my competitive games this summer, at least of the ones I recorded. Remember, there was that one game I played 90 minutes that we shall never speak of again, which I don't have any footage from, but nobody wants to see that. And just one other quick thing before we dive into these aren't the best quality. I've tried my best to kind of capture everything and make it easy to watch, but yeah, filming soccer games is hard, and you know, that's its own video, and I've talked about that a little bit in the past, but I tried my best. Okay, so let me put on my old man glasses, and we're gonna go through these basically in chronological order, because that's what makes sense to me. Oh yeah, so just before I get into these, I actually wanna share with you a story from the season that was probably the highlight of the summer so far. So, actually, in my first match, I showed up and the game got underway, and I didn't start. I was not surprised that I didn't start. And the game started rolling and the clock started ticking. And after like 30 minutes, I was beginning to wonder, like, okay, am I gonna see any game time at all? What can I expect? Maybe I'll be happy if I get like 10, 15 minutes at the end. And we were actually losing 3-0 in the first half. So yeah, at around the 40-minute mark, the coach looked at me and he's like, do you wanna go in? And I said, yeah, I sure do. And he asked me what position I wanted to play, and I was like, put me in striker. And I think he was a little hesitant, and I could see it on his face. And he was like, are you sure? I was like, yep. And the reason I said that is because I'm fast, and I looked around, and playing defender is a lot of pressure that I didn't want to have, and I was worried I would like make a horrible mistake and concede a goal or something like that. Anyway, he was like, you know what? Okay, go in. And so yeah, he put me in at about the 40-minute mark, and I scored within 2 minutes of getting on the pitch, and that was just the best feeling ever. I just felt so vindicated. I was like, I had backed myself, I called my number, and that was the only goal that our team scored in that game, so that was definitely a kind of mountaintop experience for the summer. But anyway, let me pull up the clips from the first game, and just before that goal, my first introduction into the game, I actually just foul somebody. So I'll show you that one. In each of these, I've kind of tried to indicate where the ball is at the start of the clip, kind of the direction of play if it's not obvious. And you'll see shortly that there's a little circle surrounding me so you know where I am. So yeah, we're the blue team. We always wore blue in all of these games. We're playing against purple here. And even though I came in as striker, I just decided in this game that I wanted to have a really high work rate. And so I had dropped a little deeper here because we were out of possession, and I just wanted to help kind of clog up the middle. And so I'm just kind of slowly drifting in, not committing too much. And then when I see the opportunity, I press the guy, and I guess I just got a little too excited and put my arm around him and threw him down. In fairness, I think he did go down pretty soft. But anyway, that was my first touch in a competitive match, and it wasn't a touch of the ball. Okay, here's the next clip from that match. I was on the far side basically, so it's a little blurry. I had to zoom in, but this is the best that I can do. Our winger or fullback, can't quite remember, wins the ball, and we turn around and kind of have a bit of a counterattack, I guess. So I attack there. So yeah, that just felt pretty incredible. The attack is on, I'm running. The cross in is not the best. Their defender reads it pretty well, but he has a heavy touch. And I'm like, I can get that ball. So I get a little bit lucky here with my touch, and I play it right into the path of the other striker. And he runs onto it, gets a shot off with his left foot, and I just keep driving towards the net. And luckily, there's a rebound off the keeper, and I'm just in the right place at the right time to tap that in. So I think that was a really nice goal. I think one common theme throughout this summer in a lot of these clips is just having a bad first touch. And I think that's what happens here. So our winger on the right has the ball, and he sees me, and he goes to play me a pass. And let's just see what happens. So yeah, there's like two things here when I watch this back. The pass maybe wasn't as heavy as I was hoping, but it was kind of a hard one, I guess, because it's not like I ran out wide or anything, and I also didn't come to the ball, and that's maybe something I could have done differently. And their defender read it really well, so we have a slight recovery here, and I do get another touch, and I try to take it past him and just drive down the wing, but I think my touch is too heavy, and I actually take it out of play, and he just shields it, and they get a throw. Because I played 48 minutes in the first game, I have a lot more clips and touches in this game than I do in the other ones by comparison. So this is still in that first match, and we have a play developing, an attack developing from left to right here. You'll see me there. One of our center mids has the ball, and he's doing a great job just carrying it up. But anyway, I'm out wide and there's space, so I call for the ball, and he lays it off for me. And I think I just get too excited, and I go for the shot straight away, and it's just a really weak shot. I probably, in hindsight, had time for a touch to set myself, or to maybe even dribble a little closer or try and send across. I mean, anything probably would have been better than the really weak shot that I took. In this one, there's a bit of a scramble, so I can't remember if one of my other teammates got a shot off, and the goalkeeper doesn't really get it convincingly. So I'm on the left again, and I kind of drift in, and I just keep pressing them, and then I get a little bit of a recovery. So I got lucky there that the ball bounced and fell to me, but I was pleased that I got a pass off to the intended recipient, because my passing accuracy is something that I've definitely started working on a lot when I started playing on this team, because I was embarrassed at how bad it was. So yeah, bounce falls to me, and I was like, oh, here we go, play nice pass. And the attack continues. I think one minor little critique of myself here is that as soon as I play the pass, I kind of stand around and just watch it, waiting to see what happens. I think what is a better tactical move is, as soon as you play that pass, to make that run right away. So I'm just standing watching, and then eventually I run, but I should have ran sooner and been a little more proactive. This one's just an aerial battle. I go for the ball, and it's funny, I remember this. I thought I was jumping a lot higher, and I was like more in line with him in the air than I actually was. And then watching it back, I realized, like, man, I just like ran into the guy. So not as close of an aerial duel as I thought it was. But I was just happy in this game that I was kind of grinding. I was trying really hard, and I was making those challenges. So in this clip, there's a battle going on in the corner, and I'm drifting near the back post. Ball comes in, and it's a little bit high. I don't quite get a head on it or anything, but then I chase it down, and I have a good battle with one of their defenders. So I missed that, and then we're fighting for it, and he slide tackles. He gets the ball, so I guess it wasn't a foul, but again, I was just happy that I was, trying really hard. So I actually almost scored twice in this game, and that just would have been the icing on the cake, because up until that point, I had never scored a brace, and that was one of my milestones that I've set for myself, along with a hat trick, which still hasn't happened. But anyway, I'm drifting kind of at the top of the box, far post, and our midfielder winger, he has a nice duel on the side of the touchline. He wins the ball, and he sends in a beautiful cross. And I get my head on it, and it was a bit low, so I was trying to like dive into it. And I didn't miss by much, maybe by like a foot. Beautiful cross. Just like, I could taste it. So I was happy with 1 goal. 2 would have been amazing. In this clip, trying to recover the ball and play it to one of our other midfielders. And it's a little sloppy from me. So it begins with a goal kick from the opposition. And I'm on the left. It's kind of chaotic. It gets headed towards me, so I run to it, but it's a bouncing ball, so I try and side foot it back to one of the other midfielders. Maybe I could have tried to bring it down and control it a little better, but it falls to this guy, and they have a duel, and my teammate fouls him, and so I do come away with the ball and get a little bit of a break. And I thought an attack was on. But even if the ref didn't call the foul, I tried to play the pass up to this guy, number 9, not that you can see that. And it was an awful pass. I think I just played it like off his back. It was way too hard, or hits the back of his leg. But I was trying to play a through ball on the chance that the play was allowed to continue. Okay, and then starting into the next game, this time we're playing green. In this clip, again, I'm playing striker in a 4-4-2, I believe is what we were doing at that point in time. And a nice attack develops. So our right back wins the ball. long ball is played. Our other striker makes a nice run. He's onto it. I'm going to the back post. And the attack just kind of fizzles. So I watched this back and I've thought about it, and I think like he does a great job to get to the ball. And I think at this point, their defender cuts in between the ball and me. And I keep running to the back post. And I think, well, I may have been hoping for a lofted cross to the back post. And, you know, I was in space for that. But it was actually just a ball on the ground. I don't know if my teammate was trying to shoot or make a cross into the box. But it might have been better in this case, you know, hindsight's 20/20. But it might have been better if I'd actually run to the near post to stay on the other side of this defender, because the ball comes into the keeper and he actually, like, there's a bit of a miscue between the defender and the keeper, and he's not able to command it. And there's just like a ball sitting there to be tapped in. And so if I had been at the near post, maybe that would have happened. Okay, still the same game. In this clip, our midfield wins the ball and they end up playing a long ball in over the top, and it doesn't quite come off, and one of their defenders intercepts it, but he has a really heavy touch. I think he jumps and side foots it, and I'm making a run. It basically comes into my path, and I was trying to, again, just like chip it over them and run in behind, but my touch is way too heavy. So our midfield wins the ball, goes for the long ball, defender intercepts, and there's my heavy touch. In this play, I'm on the far side and an attack is developing to the left. So I'm on the right wing, and one of our midfielders or the right back wins the ball on the touchline and he sends it to me. And I'm just trying to drive down the line, but their defender reads it really well and catches up with me. And I think it comes off of him for our throw-in. Yeah, so not the worst outcome, but I thought I could have done better with being a little more speedy. This one's kind of similar. I'm on the right wing again. It's the same game. Center back has the ball and he makes a little drive and plays it to me, and I'm facing the ball. There's a defender on my back and I just have a bad first touch. So I hit it out wide. So yeah, I just didn't receive it very well, and then he shields it, and the ref called it out of play on the touchline, so it was a throw-in for them. So this is another similar play in some ways. One of our center mids has the ball, and he plays it to the right back, and the right back plays it to me, and a nice attack is developing, and I turn, and I have space to run into, but I just have a heavy touch, and their defender gets onto it. So yeah, plays it to me, and there's just like an awful touch, and I play it right into his path. He kicks it out, so we get a throw-in off of it, but not the best outcome. So again, like I said, one thing I learned from playing in these games is your first touch and your passing accuracy just need to be so good. And I mean, I guess that goes for any level, but it was really highlighted to me here where the margin for error is much smaller. And believe it or not, that's something I actually did work on a lot this summer, and I have seen massive gains too, so maybe in the future I can show some examples of that. I don't even know why I included this. It's just a throw in. I wondered if it was a foul throw. The linesman was right beside me and he didn't call it foul, and I don't know exactly how it works, but at the time I released the ball, my both feet are planted, and after it's out of my hands, it comes up a bit off the ground. But anyway, it wasn't called foul, so I'll take it. Actually, yeah, that last clip and this one were the dying minutes of this match, and I got thrown in as a left back, so I probably played left back for like 2 minutes, and I was super nervous because I said earlier, like, I find playing defender to be quite stressful, and I was really in my head about like, oh, don't screw it up, don't make a mistake, don't give the ball away. And I kind of do that here. So I think we regain possession here. The ball comes to me and I just don't know what to do with it. And I play an awful pass. I think I was just overthinking things. So I was trying to play this midfielder here, and the pass was just so weak. Okay, on to the next match, and back to playing striker. In these clips, there were a lot of long balls, and not really many of them worked out for me. But in this clip, we're attacking to the left, and the ball's in the air, and it's coming back from, I don't know, a goal kick or something. So here, our midfielders recover it. It's great. He sees me, and he tries to play a ball in behind. And I just wasn't totally expecting it, I don't think. And then, yeah, I was just trying to get a touch to take it behind these guys and run in behind them, but it was too heavy, and the keeper was also onto it. This clip's from the same game. It's a little bit of a longer one because there's kind of two moments. So it's this next half, and so this time we're attacking to the right, and I'm standing near the top. So the first thing is that another ball kind of over the top comes, and it doesn't quite work out for me. And then I have a nice little play with our right winger, but I just also don't do anything with the ball. So I think, yeah, we eventually recover. So I start looking to make a run. Now, I was kind of hoping for the ball to come onto my right, so that it's space to kind of go here, but and my body is positioned that way, and it comes behind me, so, and straight to their defender. So he has a much easier time getting to it than I do. But yeah, we recover. I see the space. I call for it. So he plays me a nice pass, and he's making a run too. But yeah, I just don't know. So again, I think this is like a recovery / counterattack, and I'm on the left this time, and we start driving forward, and I get the ball, and I'll eventually try to play to the center forward here, and I either don't get to the ball in time, or it's just a terrible pass. Like either way, it was disappointing. Yeah, I was trying to get that pass off, and I mean, it was like not the worst execution, but obviously it didn't work either, so. This one's another, same game, same attack direction. It's another ball over the top. I think it starts from their throw in, and then we recover it. It bounces off the back of my shoulder, and it just never fell in a good spot for me, and I couldn't get around their defender. So yeah, it's their throw in. We recover, and there's where it hits my shoulder. And yeah, I see the center forward or the other striker going to make that run, and it just is like, here it hits my shoulder. It's awkward. I have a bad touch too, I think. Yeah, and I just can't get it down in time before I'm in front of that defender. So, new game. I am playing on the right wing in this case. A cross comes into the right back, and he has a heavy touch, and I just have a nice recovery here, so I play it to one of the CDMs on our team. So yeah, to the right back. He's got a heavy touch here, and yeah, just a nice little recovery. So yeah, this is kind of similar. I think it starts with a throw in over here, and we kind of develop a switch of play. I'm still on the right, and the ball kind of gets lobbed up to the keeper, but it's pretty awkward. And I just rush him, and I'm like, I think I can get the ball from him. So I kind of challenge him for the ball just as it's arriving in his hands, and he drops it. And then we'll see what happens. I bump him, I guess, shoulder to shoulder. He drops it. Yeah, my team is yelling at me that I should have let it go out for a corner, which I should have. But I wasn't thinking. I was like too excited. I was like, he's out of his net. Like, if I can just find a pass, it could be an easy tap in. And so I stop it on the line from going out. But the keeper, he just collects it because it's still in the box. So could have got a corner out of that, but I think this is just one of those like experience things. So if this ever happens in the future, like I know what to do. So they have possession in the beginning of this clip. I'm still on the right wing, and our midfield presses them, and we recover the ball quite nicely. So it turns around into a nice little counterattack. The ball comes to me, and I kind of end up taking it in the corner, and yeah, I make a really crappy pass. So yeah, comes to me. And I probably could have crossed sooner. Not that we really had options in the box. But yeah, I just took a look and decided to hold on to it a little longer. And then I did see my teammate here who was in the box. And so I decided to try and play him instead. And it was just an awful pass. It was in the air, it was like waist height. So he gets a foot to it, but it's hard to control. So I think we just, yeah, it goes out of play. This one I thought was a really cool moment. So I'm in a two-man wall here, and they have a free kick. And so they take the free kick and it smashes into us as the two-man wall, and it gets launched like 40 feet into the air. And my teammate runs forward, and I intentionally just headed it so that it skimmed off the back of my head and in his direction. And it gets executed perfectly. So, and I was intending for this. So it falls right into the path of his feet. And then we have a little bit of a like nice play developing on the wing, but we both kind of screw it up after that. So I headed down off the back of my head to him, and he tries to play me up the wing, and it's a soft pass, and then I try and come back and recover, and I just also have a bad pass. So it was kind of a waste. Watch it again. So this is another good moment, I thought. I was really pleased with this. So I believe it's our possession, and it's kind of a build-up play. One of our center backs, I think, has the ball, and he plays it to one of our CDMs, and I start driving up the line, and I get a pass into space, and then I cut inside past one of their center backs. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a shot off or a pass to a teammate, so almost a good play. But I think it shows improvement. I'm screaming for it, it comes, I cut inside around this guy. And then yeah, this is the last game I played, and I had 10 and a half minutes in this game. So this first one, I'm playing striker again, and I get a ball played to me, and I just have a heavy touch and can't control it, can't do anything with it. So they start with possession. Oh yeah, I try and intercept this, and I just am shy and I miss it. But it runs out for throw in for us, so not so bad. I'm trying to stay on side, trying to look for a run. Yeah, just couldn't control it there. Nothing really crazy happens in this. I can't remember how or why, but we're like trying to dig it out of our defensive third. So I've come back pretty deep to help. I think we're doing a 4-4-2 again, and so we have another striker who did stay high. We do regain possession, so I turn around and I bolt up the wing. And I remember in the moment when this was happening, I was thinking like, why didn't you play me? Because I felt like I had tons of space to run into on the left. But I guess he looked up and he did see the other striker who was further ahead and probably had like just as much, if not more. But they just couldn't time the pass, so he ends up being offside here. Yeah, he's right now he's offside. You can kind of see from the line, and it's, yeah, he made his run early. Watching it back, I was like, okay, I can see why he played the other striker. It's just too bad they couldn't get the timing down. This is kind of another similar one. Just we recover the ball, turn around, have an attack developing, and I'm trying to make a run. But yeah, ball doesn't get played to me. And I think this is the last one. So this clip actually kind of sucks because what happens takes place out of the field of view of the camera. And so you can't actually see what I did. And I was so proud of this moment. So I was actually really bummed out that I didn't capture it. What ends up happening is a ball gets played over the top to me, but it's a bit wide. So I run onto it and it's potentially gonna go out of play on the touchline. And I turn and I control it. And there's a lot of pressure, and I was just really happy with how I handled it. So the ball hits the ground, it bounces, I took it off the chest, and I played it down to my feet with perfect control. One of their defenders at the same time was rushing in to close me down, and I just did a little croqueta shift to kind of use his momentum against him. So he goes out the touchline, I'm still there with the ball, and one of our CDMs comes to support, and I just lay it off to him and kind of make a move out. So if that's confusing, we'll just watch it. But yeah, you don't see me chest it down or do any of that stuff, basically. I'm screaming for it. Yeah, it's a bit wide. I turn, chest, keep it in. I shift from that guy and then just lay it off for our CDM here. Or maybe he was playing as our cam in that moment. But yeah, this guy here is the one who's like charging in towards me, and I just shift the ball out of his path and I look around at my options. I remember seeing 41 here make a run, and I just didn't think that I had like a good angle to make a pass to him, so I went with the safer option. So there you have it, guys. You have now heard the story of my experience with a competitive team this summer. You've seen basically all of my match footage and my moments, and we've analyzed them together. So let me know what you thought. Before I go, let me leave you with a couple stats. So the team record right up until I quit was 2 wins, 1 tie, and 4 losses. I played 214 minutes across 6 games, and I scored 1 goal and I had 0 assists. This video ended up being a lot longer than I thought it would have been, but I guess it just takes a long time to analyze clips from 214 minutes worth of game footage. If you actually watched the full video and you got to this point, I just want to say a huge thank you. That really means a lot, and I hope you're really enjoying this content. Even though the experience with the competitive men's team has come to an end this summer, I'm still playing recreational soccer, and that season is really long. It actually goes until October, so we're only halfway through. I'm at 7 goals and 2 assists in 10 games, so I'm killing it in that league, and I look forward to filming more of those matches and analyzing them with you as well. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.